Hello friends, welcome to Unique Designers India. Today we are going to see the next tutorial video in our channel. Today we are going to start with sugar beads working and sugar beads with Aari needle. I have taken some antique gold color sugar beads here, and the needle number will be number 23. I have taken needle number 23 for this work, and I have also taken the sewing thread. This is the normal cotton sewing thread which I am going to use to attach the beads to the cloth. So let us start with the work. As always, you have to take the needle from the top and take a loop out of this. Actually, till now we have been working with gold zari thread with Aari needle, and the texture of the zari thread and this cotton thread is little different. This cotton thread is very thin and very fragile, so it will be little difficult for you to handle this thread. So I would suggest you to try simple chain stitches with this thread alone first. That is, before using the beads, you can just make a line of chain stitch with this thread and see the comfortability, and then you can start with the bead work. Now I have taken the thread outside, and there's a small loop here. While taking the beads from the plate, just keep the needle in the center of the bead, and using the middle finger, just pull the bead upwards so that the bead gets into the needle. This is how you will load the bead with the needle. Now hold the needle and the thread in a straight line. Just hold it like this and pass the bead through the needle and also the thread. Now the bead goes to the end of the cloth, and now pull the thread from the downside so that the needle again goes to the starting point. At the end of the bead, you can make a stitch here, a normal chain stitch. So you are making only chain stitches, but along with beads. This is how you will attach the beads to the cloth. So every time you take a bead, then attach it to the thread, then again the next one. Generally, sugar beads are of a little smaller size, and for each stitch you can add 2 sugar beads, so that the work will get easier for you. I am taking 2 sugar beads and pass the 2 beads through the needle and make a stitch. The count of the beads can differ for every type of bead. Actually, for sugar beads you can use 2 stitches, 2 beads per stitch, and if it is for kardana beads, see this is called kardana beads or cut beads. If you are using these beads, you can use only 1 bead for a stitch, because the beads are little longer in size, and if you make 2 or 3 beads for 1 stitch, it will become a messy work and it will just pop out. So use only 1 bead with kardana beads. But if it is sugar bead, you can add 2 beads for every stitch. And after you get practiced with this, you can even take more number of beads in the needle at a time. See, you have to take like this. With this tulip Aari needle, you can load up to 7 beads or 8 beads to the needle. If it is a professional iron needle, you can load more number of beads. Now I have taken nearly 8 beads, and while attaching, just have control over the beads with the fingers. So you can hold the beads like this with your ring finger and attach only 2 beads. Then again pass on 2 beads to the thread and make the stitch. This is just a time saving work, so that you don't have to take the beads every time. Just load the needle with 7 or 8 beads at a time, but while attaching, you attach only 2 beads per stitch. Same like this, you can complete this line. So while attaching beads in a straight line, it is easy and normal, but when coming to shapes, you have to concentrate on the sharpness of the shape. For example, I have made a tilagam here. I have started from the middle point of this tilagam and I have made a stitch here, and now I am near the sharp point. So let us make it sharp like this. The 2 beads till the end of the tip of the tilagam. Now every time when you make a tilagam shape or sharpness with zari, you will have to make a lock on the sideways. So same like that, you have to make a lock here, but you have to make 2 locks. A lock on this side, that is exactly where the bead ends, and next lock will be on the side, the side of this bead, and exactly on the side line. These lock stitches should be very, very small so that it is not seen prominently. This is to just change the direction of the stitch. Till now this direction of the stitch was here, that is the loop will be popping out like this, and now to change the direction you have to make a lock stitch here, and then you will get the sharpness perfectly. So I am going to do the next line, and you can see how sharp the tilagam is. Now you have got the exact sharpness of the tilagam. Same like this, wherever you get sharpness, you have to do a locking stitch on 2 sides, and then you will get the perfect sharpness. After this, I'll tell you how to do the sharpness in kardana beads also. You can have just have a look at it also. Same like we did in the sugar beads. For this also, you have to make locks on two sides. That is exactly after the bead, you have to make a lock, and you can see the loop facing this side. And now we have to make the lock on the side of the kardana bead on the side line. And now the thread will be facing like this. And we have to attach one by one. As I said earlier, we have to attach kardana beads one by one. That is, for every stitch you can attach only one bead. If it is a small size kardana, you can add 2 beads, no issues. So depending on the size of the bead, you have to change the count of the bead per stitch. That is, for round beads like dull gold round beads or antique beads, for all those beads you have to use only 1 bead per stitch. After this, I'll tell you how to attach single beads, that is to make dots all over the blouse. Now I have taken 2 different types of beads. These are called the rice beads, that is the beads eye-shaped beads, that is it will be sharp on both the edges, and these are the round beads, little bigger in size, that is number 4. And I'll tell you how to make these dots with these beads. First I'll tell you with the rice beads. Take the thread from downside and load the needle with 1 bead and make a knot here so that the bead gets attached. This is how you attach any type of bead in a single count. And if you have to make a dot with the sugar bead also, now first you have to take the sugar bead and then the rice bead. Attach both the beads together so that you will get a dot on the downside. Same way you can do with the round beads also. Taken 1 round bead, and if you take the round bead first and then the sugar bead, the sugar bead will come on the top. And if you want the sugar bead on the downside, you have to take the sugar bead first and then the round bead. So first take the sugar bead, then a round bead, and attach both together. And while making such single bead stitches, you can even go for the self color threads. That is, every time I use golden color thread for all other material work, that is bead or zardosi or any type of material work, we use golden color thread. But if you want to make the single bead work like this, if you are making this kind of dots all over the blouse and you are not confident of making the knot very small, you can take the thread of this color also, this blue color, so that the thread will not be seen obviously. This is how you do attaching with the sugar beads and Aari needle. So now I have made a very simple homework motif. This is a simple lotus design. I have chosen this design so that you can practice the sharpness with sugar beads and kardana beads. For these lotus petals, you can use sugar bead outline, and for this outline of this kodi like thing, you can make kardana beads as outline, and you can learn the sharpness here. And this is a very small homework and very simple one, and in future videos I'll tell you a little complicated designs also. Just try with the sugar beads and kardana beads with these motifs. And thank you all for watching. Keep practicing. Bye.